Hello, welcome to the Fight Life Nation podcast. Hey guys, what's up? This is another episode of Today in Combat Sports. This is episode number 2. We did one last week. I wanted to do one this week. Even though I wasn't really super excited about anything going on in combat sports today, Bellator had an event today. Austin Vanderford fought Gegard Mousasi for their middleweight title in Ireland. And actually, I didn't get to watch because I don't have Showtime anymore, but I didn't miss much. I just wasn't into this card. I saw all the fights that were on the card, and it was a bunch of Irish fighters or maybe just European fighters in general that I wasn't familiar with, and I just had no interest in watching. Sorry, I'm just being honest. If it's going to be in the middle of the day, it's got to really pique my interest. Gegard Mousasi looked great. I thought, Austin Vanderford was a young guy going to come in and live up to the big moment, take the title away, be the new business, Mr. VanZant. But you know what? Austin Vanderford actually went back to being Mr. VanZant because he lost. He lost really embarrassingly, and maybe this will be a good lesson to him. He rushed in a couple times, ended up getting clipped. It looked like Gegard kind of fell on top of his head, and then he just turtled up, and Gegard just punched him out. But Gegard Mousasi, let me see. We got a stream from MMA Fighting. Let's see a little slide. Yep, this is him with his belt. Gegard Mousasi wins again. I'm not really a Gegard Mousasi fan. I know there are those that really love him. I'm not ever going to be that guy. But hey, man, you win that middleweight title. He is on a killer win streak. Outside of a fight with Rafael Lovato, where he lost the title, but then I guess Lovato got sick and couldn't defend, so Mousasi regained the title. And he's been on fire for a while now. In other news, tomorrow is like a really crummy shot, but tomorrow is the UFC Islam Makhachev versus Bobby Green fight, and I can't tell you how little I'm excited about this fight. I just don't think Bobby Green has a chance. I know he's a fun story. He's out of Riverside. I'm pulling for him and hope that he can pull off a miracle. But it's just Makhachev's style. It's just like, I'm going to hold you down. He's not going to take a lot of risk. I heard something today about how Makhachev only has 13 strikes against him in every fight. Or I don't know if it's every fight or every round, but he's never had more than 13 strikes against him. That's crazy. That's a crazy number. I don't know what Bobby Green's going to do. I really do hope that he can do something. I hope he can stuff a takedown, hit him with the knee, maybe catch him. But I don't see it happening. I don't see this being a competitive fight. My buddy MMA Joey, he says that he doesn't believe Makhachev's takedowns are that good, but even he knows he picked Bobby Green to take the loss in this one. I don't know what to make about this fight. Like I say, I'm not really that excited about almost anything going on in the major sports this week. Next week's going to be totally different. UFC 272 is next week. That's Masvidal versus Covington, and that has a stacked card that I would love to talk about. We can make a few videos all week about it. I'm really stoked about that card. I don't know about the main event as much. I know that sounds crazy. It's just I'm not into those two gentlemen. But the card in itself has a lot of good fighters on it, including Jalen Turner, who I'm a big fan of. We'll get deep into that card next week. But as for tomorrow's fights, I mean, there's the Arman Tsarukyan versus Joel Alvarez. There's a Terrence McKinney fight that's kind of interesting. And then it's like a whole bunch of fights I just don't care about. Misha Shirkinov is on the card. If you're not going to be relative, if you're not going to be someone who's in title contention, if you're not going to be exciting to watch, there's guys who are exciting to watch. but they're not in title contention. Cowboy Cerrone is a fun fighter to watch, and he's never going to win anymore. But yeah, he's not fighting on the card. It's a bunch of guys that I'm just not into. I didn't go deep into this card, like going fight by fight. I don't know. Maybe we'll start doing that soon, but I just wasn't into this card. I wasn't into last week's card. The Bellator fights today really let me down. I just wasn't into any of them. So that all being said, there is a big announcement that was made this week, and it was kind of made really quietly, if you ask me. I think they could have made a bigger deal out of it. But, hey, it's his deal to make, and that's FightersRep. FightersRep Kickboxing has moved their venue to the Commerce Casino in the city of Commerce. I mean, this is an awesome, big piece of news. The reason I'm so excited for this is going to give FightersRep a more polished look. I really think, especially when it comes to the visual that you see from home. So the people that are watching the live stream, the people that are watching pay-per-view, if that's the route that they go. But anybody who watches, I think it's going to look a lot more polished coming from the Commerce Casino. I think that's a big step up. Obviously, they're going to have to deal with whatever budget they have compared to other companies that have been there. But I know the big problem I didn't like when I would watch FightersRep cards online, it really looked like, I don't want to say anything that offends because I love working with FightersRep, but it really did look like an unprofessional environment. It looked like almost like a high school gym that they were in. That being said, it is the best combat sport, in my opinion. Kickboxing is just an amazing sport. I think FightersRep does it the best. Fight after fight, they put on way entertaining cards. I think this is a big step up for them. A good example of something that made me feel they really had to get out of that venue if they want to grow. They were in the AIM Sports Complex. And let me just say something about the AIM Sports Complex. It was a really good venue if you were a fan. If you were a fan who went to the event, it was a great venue because it had lots of space. If you were a fighter, it had lots of space. I would say maybe only because there was only one restroom, maybe that might have been an issue, but I never had an issue with that. But as far as space goes, as far as, relatively how close parking is, all that issues, the fan experience, it was an excellent spot. I don't have anything negative to say. It was just a visual when it came to like live streaming, the visual and photographs for me. And also, a major thing that I think is going to improve is when it comes to the summer events, there wasn't very much air conditioning at the AIM Sportsplex. I think Commerce Casino has that controlled. It's a controlled environment. I really like that. I think it's a big step up. I think people who are going to go, they're going to really enjoy where they're at. I think it's going to be a much better environment. I think the as I said, the live stream, the pay-per-view, however you want to put it, that's going to come out way better at the Commerce Casino. I've been in multiple events there. I've seen different levels of production value. So I know what some of the potentials are, and I know what they can do with less money in there. So I don't want to say something that sounds rude or wrong. Like I say, FightersRep puts on the best fights. Everything's going to come. It's not fair to compare anybody who's on fight number 74 to fight number 12, fight number 13. You can't do that. And I think fight for fight, FightersRep has the best fights. So, yes, keep tuned to this channel. I've had the luck to see some of these fights already starting to get matched. I'm not going to break any of that news just yet. I'm going to let them break all their news because that's FightersRep. You might see me on their channel, actually. I would love to do some of their interviews ahead of time. I've been working with George for a long time, and I have no issue with interviewing some of their fighters ahead of the card. I think man, seeing this card getting put together, I'm really excited. I just think these guys are going to be it's going to be fire. You know what I mean? It's April 30th. April 30th. Let me just show you real quick my last slide that I had. Sorry, I went out on a tangent. I'm just so excited about going to Commerce Casino. I feel like it's a graduation. I feel like when they were doing MMA, it was almost like kindergarten. And then when they went to the AIM Sports Complex, I felt like it was like middle school. Like middle school. And I feel like now we're graduating like to a high school. And, when we get out of the Commerce and we're in the bigger venues, I think this is going to be like the main graduation, But Commerce is an excellent venue. It can grow. I'm trying to get this slide up real quickly. Let's see. All right, here we go. Just want to show you this last slide. Here you go, matching for April 30th, Commerce Casino. I'm super stoked about this. I cannot wait. Check it out when you get a chance. I'm really stoked. I think this is going to be an awesome card. Like I said, I've been able to take a sneak peek. I won't even give you guys a hint of what I've seen. Just know, so far, it is fire. All right? That's all you got to know. But, yeah, stay tuned. FightersRep, to the FightersRep channel, to the FightersRep.com. You can find out more information there for that. Stay tuned to this channel, the Fight Life Nation channel, the Fight Life Nation podcast. We'll be here interviewing fighters. We'll be covering that. We'll be covering every local company in Southern California that we can cover. I'm really stoked about some events that are happening in March. I'm fired up. There's a great Muay Thai event. There's a great Spar Star event. There's a great the UFC that's going down. I mean, March is going to be killer. I cannot wait. Thank you for watching, guys, and you have a wonderful day. Really appreciate your viewers.